Okay, welcome back. This is Unit 8, as I mentioned earlier. Day 5, Unit 8. So we'll get on to the PowerPoint, and then we'll have some videos, and then we'll continue on with our day. This next unit, Unit 8, is sharing the road with other users. Sometimes it's hard to think of the fact that a car or truck has to share the road because you feel like it is your road. Obviously, the majority of the vehicles are motorized, as we talked about in previous units, but so you do need to share the road with others, pedestrians, cyclists, motorcycles, police, rescue squad, things like that. So the review here with this one, pedestrians, bicycles, motorcycles, scooters, mopeds, large vehicles, emergency vehicles, trains, public transportation, construction vehicles, work zones. I would bet you most of everyone has to deal with construction work quite a bit as far as road work is concerned. So you do have to share the road quite a bit with a lot of road construction. Sharing the road with pedestrians. As you know, pedestrians have the right of way at all times. Excuse me. Mid-block crosswalks, as you can see, they help pedestrians not have to jaywalk, walk in the illegally spot. However, they haven't been around too terribly long, but you're still, when you're in a downtown environment or uptown environment like this, you have people walking across the street in unmarked areas, that illegally, and so you still have to be careful for them. When you make left-hand turns, obviously you got to be cautious, and right-hand turns. Anytime you're in a downtown area, pedestrians have a right of way, so be careful of that. Sharing the road with pedestrians again. Be careful in school zones, residential areas. As I mentioned in previous videos, as far as the school bus area and school zone, be prepared for the worst, and hopefully it won't be that bad. Same thing with shopping centers. You just never know when a kid, a small child, is going to break away from their mom or dad and get in front of your car and things like that. So be careful when you're coming through shopping centers, going through school zones or residential areas. Just be prepared for the worst. Sharing the road with cyclists or bicycles. Just keep in mind, a cyclist has the use of the entire road. They're entitled to the full lane. You can't share the road with the lane with the cyclist. You have to be back. When approaching or passing a cyclist or bicyclist, slow down, get space. You definitely don't want to use your horn. And two, if you go by them too fast, turbulence, wind turbulence can mess them up and possibly knock them off their bike or have an accident. Over the last year and a half, in our local area, it's been probably about 3 cyclists, 2 or 3, I know 2, have gotten killed while they're on the road. So be careful with bicycles. Check for bicycles when you're turning or braking. Don't use your horn, as I mentioned, and yield to bicyclists when they're in intersect with the bike lane. It's illegal to ride in the bike lane. Okay, there's some smaller communities have bike lanes, which is fabulous. I wish all bicycle communities have not turn lanes, bicycle lanes. I wish that would be a benefit for the cyclist and also the driver. Motorcycles, once again, you can't share the lane. Check for motorcycles when you're turning. Check for them in the blind spots. When following a bicycle or motorcycle, allow for plenty of space. That way, if they fall or have an accident, you have time to react. If a cyclist a motorcycle has his turn light on and turn signal, and just because he has it on, just like in a car, don't automatically assume that they're turning. Increase space around, especially in bad weather. Signal your intention, especially if it's a motorcycle in front of you or behind you, and give them the same courtesy as you'd expect for them to give you by giving you a signal. Maintain lane position and speed when passing, so you don't linger. Here's a couple of regulatory signs and caution signs that will appear. This is kind of referring to larger vehicles like trucks, dump trucks, any other type of construction type truck. Runway truck ramp, usually you find that in the mountains, and use low gear. That's more of a mountain and steep grade. Hazardous material in large vehicles. Recognize when a vehicle is carrying dangerous cargo. Usually like the flammable gas sign you see there. There's non-flammable, liquid, and just all kinds of different signs. Once you see a sign like what you see with the flammable gas, they are carrying dangerous cargo. So when you're passing or driving behind them or beside them, be aware of that. Okay. Execute maneuvers with care and caution, just like I just mentioned. Why do large vehicles have a longer stopping distance than cars? Well, it's because of the weight, speed of the vehicle, size of the tires, brakes, and road conditions. Just like any other thing, the bigger it is, the longer it takes to stop. Passing a large vehicle, be aware large vehicles can cause turbulence, create turbulence. Pass quickly and safely. Maintain speed after passing. Don't slow down. If you pass a vehicle, please give them enough space before you move over to the next lane. Move back only when the front of the truck is visible and the rear view mirror, not the side mirrors, but the rear view mirror. Okay. Keep as far as possible, far away as possible to one side to reduce speed, wind turbulence. In doubt of the speed of oncoming truck, do not turn left. So if that car is turning left and there's any doubt whatsoever, it's advised that he doesn't take that chance. Turbulence around large vehicles, wind, can affect the stability of vehicles nearby. The two main areas of turbulence around the vehicle is the front and rear. It pushes the vehicle apart, affects the stability. Hold the steering wheel firmly and allow for plenty of space. So if you're passing or going, oncoming with a big truck, just be able to grip the steering wheel firmly. That way you have the maximum control possible. Allow following large vehicles. Avoid following too close. You should be able to see the truck driver in his or her mirrors. That way he can see you, they can see you. If you're too close to them and you can't see the cab or the truck driver's face, he sure can't see you. Leave plenty of room to move to the left, stopping behind. Prevent under-ride collisions. Cargo debris may fall off, just like the truck in front of it, even though it has a tarp. Who's to say the tarp won't come undone and whatever cargo, debris or cargo that they're hauling could fall out. It does happen. Turning in front of a large vehicle, collision at intersections between cars and trucks are common. The driver fails to determine the speed of the approaching truck. In doubt of the speed of the approaching truck, do not turn left into its path. Do not. Following large trucks again with trailers. The trailer may swing wide left or right. Don't cut in along the right hand side of the road between the truck and the curve. As you can see, the little diagram to the right. At this point, both cars really should just watch and wait for the truck to do what they got to do, whether it's to swing right or swing left. You stop, and then that way you can. That way you won't be sandwiched in. Stop at the stop lines, give trucks plenty of room. That's why I was talking in previous lessons how staggered stops or stop lines are important, because it gives trucks and vehicles more room to turn safely. Blind spots, we'll go over those. 18-wheelers, dump trucks, and any kind of commercial type trucks, they're called no zones. That's basically blind spots in car terms. The dangerous areas, as you can see, just like any other blind spots. Often the vehicles are visible to the truck. The larger the blind spot is on the right hand side, the largest. The driver, look for the driver's face. Avoid driving alongside large vehicles. In order to pass them and get finished with passing them, that way they don't have to worry about you. Front no zones, 20 feet or so, 20-25 feet, and hide a vehicle. As you can see, this white car in this diagram, it's in the 20-foot plateau range. If it was a sports car or a small car, if they were to slam on brakes, that truck would not be able to seal. And because you know from previous slides, trucks need a longer stopping distance. If that white car doesn't give that truck enough room in the front, chances are that that truck's going to hit that white car. Rear no zones is about 200 feet. Avoid driving too closely. It's against the law, for one. A lot of people think they can draft and save gas and things like that. It's just dangerous. And another thing too, one of the videos I think we'll share, we'll talk also too about if they were to go across debris or something in the middle of the road like a pothole or debris. Those 18-wheelers are sitting high up, so they can easily go across and straddle the debris without any problems. Whereas you in a car, you may end up having some trouble, may end up having a wreck. Here's what a rear no zone would look like. At this viewpoint, the driver does not see the car behind him. Large vehicles, when they're out of control, cannot stop due to brake failure, steep downgrades. This is called a runaway truck ramp or escape ramp. You see these in mountain areas. There's some in local mountains here. Be aware of large trucks on steep grades. Never stop or park on a truck ramp. Please do keep that in mind. Keep in mind some of these trucks are 80,000 pounds and going downhill, and if they don't have any brakes, that's not a good time to stop and look at scenery or anything like that. You want to stop somewhere else. We talked a little bit about pulling over, how you handle the police. Okay, share the road with emergency vehicles. Okay. North Carolina, and I would imagine most states, have the pullover law. Basically, if you see an ambulance, fire truck, rescue squad, police, or whatever medic over to the side, you need to get over into the next lane as much as possible. Being pulled, pull to the right. You can find a safe spot. Okay, if you're at a spot that you cannot pull over due to safety, put your caution lights on or your hazards and slow down significantly. That way the police officer knows you're not trying to run away from them. You're just trying to find a well-lit area, maybe a gas station, maybe a parking lot of some sort. Okay, remain in the vehicle until asked. If they ask, know where your license, insurance, registration card, and try to comply with the officer as much as possible. Railroad crossing signs, we've seen these every day. Railroad crossings, slow down, pay attention to the signs, lights, gates, look both ways. Stop at the stop line if the train's approaching. Do not stop on the tracks. That's another thing people do. It's not worth you stopping on the tracks. Maybe your car stalls, maybe the traffic won't let you cross, things like that. And a train's coming, it's not going to be a good situation. Okay. Share the road with transit buses. Watch for buses that have stopped. Unlike school buses, drivers do not have to stop for a transit bus. Look for passengers who might cross in front of a driver's path. Do not stop. Do not pass a stopped bus. Wait until the bus starts moving. And the reason being is, as the first sentence above, if somebody might pull out and walk across once they get off the bus, start walking across the road. So it's just best just to wait, what's 10-15 seconds of your life to prevent an accident. Trolleys and light rails. There's a lot of bigger cities have more and more light rails. Once again, same thing as the railroad crossing. Don't park or park on those tracks. Don't pass on the left. Never turn in front of approaching light rail vehicle or trolley. Maintain safe following distance. Be careful. Drive safely driving through work zones. Reduce speed. These guys are working hard. Chances are they're not paying as much attention because it's a 10-12 hour day, and so they don't watch every single car. Obey the signs, obey the flaggers, increase your following distance, merge as soon as possible. Use caution in work zones at night. I would even do it during the day as well. And just be careful. Treat it like a stopped school bus. Adjust your lane position away from vehicles. If you've got vehicles and equipment and workers to the right, you can squeeze over to the left of the lane just 2 or 3 or 4 feet. That'll help you out. That'll give you some time to react and give the workers extra space. Also too, as many of you know, always expect delays during work zones. Following construction vehicles, pretty much the same thought as the 18-wheeler. Do not tailgate. Driver may not see you in side mirrors. Increase your following space. If it's a construction vehicle is falling, keep checking rearview mirrors. Don't stop too quickly if you can help it. Construction vehicles need lots of braking distance. Just the same thought as the 18-wheelers we just talked about. Dump trucks are the same way. Okay, let's go to the videos.
Large trucks and buses can weigh anywhere from 10,000 pounds to 80,000 pounds. Passenger cars typically weigh 3,000 or 4,000 pounds. Because of this difference, large trucks and buses cannot stop or maneuver like small cars or pickups. They need more space to stop and turn. Trucks and buses can take twice as long as cars to stop. Often passenger cars pass trucks and move in front of the truck too quickly without leaving enough room for the truck to maintain a safe following distance. Truck drivers are trained to maintain at least 3 seconds between themselves and traffic in front of them. At 65 miles per hour, that's about 300 feet, the length of a football field. When you pass a truck and move in front of it without leaving enough room, you create an unsafe situation and actually break the law. Most states have a traffic law regarding lane usage or passing that requires you to leave a safe distance between your car and the vehicle you pass before moving into their lane. Sharing the road is always safer than ignoring other vehicles and pushing your way through traffic. These are examples of crashes caused by passenger cars cutting off trucks. The passenger car is at fault when this occurs. Cutting off trucks is dangerous. Sharing the road saves lives. Following large trucks or buses at the proper distance is important. If you follow too closely, the truck's size will prevent you from viewing the road ahead. The truck's brake lights may be your first indication of a hazard and limit your response time. Try to position your vehicle so that you can see the truck driver's side mirrors. That way he can see you as well. When coming to a stop behind a truck, don't pull up to its bumper. Leave room to maneuver. A good rule of thumb is to leave at least one car length, enough space to maneuver around the truck if necessary. Another danger for passenger car drivers is striking the back of a large truck. This type of crash can cause the rear of the truck trailer or other areas of the tractor or trailer to impact the passenger vehicle in areas that are catastrophic to the occupants. Be sure to allow a space between the back of the truck and your car. Trucks are able to straddle debris in the road while you may not have enough time to react. Some drivers think drafting a large truck is safe and saves gas. Actually, this can result in a traffic ticket and drastically reduces visibility for the car driver. If the truck changes lanes or slows to avoid an obstacle, the car driver may not have enough time and space to avoid a crash. Following at a safe distance is always important. Sharing the road with trucks and buses requires leaving enough space to be safe. Due to the overall length of large trucks, a larger turn radius is necessary. Often large trucks will move into adjacent lanes prior to and after a turning movement to avoid driving over a curb or sidewalk. When making a right turn, large trucks will often move left prior to making the turn. Inattentive drivers may see this as a lane change to the left, not the beginning of a right turn, and attempt to pass on the right. Look for the right turn signal on the trailer before attempting to pass on the right. Passing any large truck on the right can be risky. Occasionally, truck drivers will fail to signal, or the trailer signal light may be inoperative. Safe drivers will wait to assess the truck driver's intent before passing. If a truck is stopped at or approaching an intersection, never attempt to cut in along the right side as the driver first maneuvers left, or you will find yourself sandwiched between the turning truck and the curb. Trying to pass a right turning truck on the left can also present dangers. If the truck swings wide enough, it can force you to stray into oncoming traffic or the median of a cross street. Always give the truck driver sufficient clearance and time to complete a turn safely. Similar concerns arise when large trucks make left turns. Truck drivers turning left may first swing wide to the right to enter a cross street. The sharper the turn, the narrower the intersection, and the longer the truck, the wider the driver must go. Many intersections are marked with stop lines, indicating where a driver must come to a complete stop. Stop lines are designed to set motorists far enough back from the intersection to be safe. Check the cross street for large truck traffic when stopped at intersections to anticipate any wide turns entering your lane. Crowding the intersection by stopping beyond the stop line can position your vehicle too close to trucks attempting to turn and other cross traffic. It can also result in a traffic ticket. Passing large trucks can be risky. Sharing the road means assessing as best you can the intent of the truck driver and avoiding passing trucks when they are turning. Large truck and bus drivers constantly indicate that one of the most dangerous things they see on the road is passenger cars moving into their blind spots. Truck and bus drivers cannot monitor and be aware of all traffic around them due to several blind spots located on all sides of their rig. Research indicates a significant number of crashes involving cars and large trucks occur in blind spots, or no zones. The first no zone is directly in front of the hood of a large truck. Long hoods can create blind spots up to 20 feet in front of the bumper, easily enough room for a small passenger car to move into without being seen. Each side of a large truck also has a no zone. The left side extends from the driver's door to the middle of the trailer. Passenger cars should move through this zone steadily and not linger. The right side no zone is much larger. It extends from the front of the truck all the way to the rear and 3 lanes over. Truck drivers are trained that this is one of the most dangerous areas around a truck, and car drivers should avoid it when possible. Another good reason to avoid the blind spots is that even a properly secured load can shift while the truck is moving and could possibly dislodge onto the highway. Trucks hauling oversized loads are a special concern. They require even more space to turn and can take up more than one lane, and can be required to travel at slower speeds. All these factors require motorists to exercise patience and extra caution. Another no zone or blind spot is directly behind the trailer, where a car driver's visibility is severely limited. When drivers travel in a truck's blind spots or no zones, they put themselves at risk because they cannot be seen by the truck driver. A good rule is to make sure you can see the truck driver in one of his or her mirrors so they can see you.
And the problem is that it happens far more often than you think. But do you know how this can be avoided? It's easier than you think. All you have to do is look for the signs. What signs? They are all over the place. Let's rewind to see how this can be avoided. When you see an advance warning sign, pay attention because you are approaching a railroad crossing. Pavement markings may also be present. This would be a good time to lower the radio, check behind you, and put your foot over the brake. See that sign? It's called a cross stop, and it tells you to yield to trains. You might also see a yield sign at the crossing. Yield on the highway means slow down, prepare to stop, and look for traffic before going. It's the same here, just instead of a car, we're dealing with a 12 million pound train. You can avoid real disaster by simply obeying the signs. Here's a good question. Where exactly are you supposed to stop at a railroad crossing? Stop at the white line on the pavement if the train is approaching. If no line is present, then stop no closer than the average car length, which is 15 feet from the nearest rail, or no further than 50 feet away for good sight distance. Now, let's consider how far it takes a train to stop. Here's John, our football player. He's pretty fast. Right, John? Okay, get running, John. As you can see, John is running the length of the entire football field. Now, if we ran across 18 of them, John would be running 1 full mile. Why is that important? Well, besides us having fun trying to wear John out, this 1 mile number also relates to our train. At just 55 miles per hour, it takes the average train at least 1 mile to stop. That's 18 football fields to slow this train down from 55 miles per hour to 0. By the way, it takes John a lot less to stop. The passing of one train at a crossing can often hide a second train on another track. Be sure when you start across the tracks, there's room on the other side to get completely across. Remember, you need a minimum of a car length, which is 15 feet from the track. So if you don't fit, don't commit. I love this song. Girls, turn it up. You can always rock out, but remember not to zone out. You have to look and listen for the train.
Come on, start. Not again, come on.
Oh, this is so not cool.
Come on, start.
If you ever get stalled on the tracks, immediately leave the vehicle and call the police or the emergency number posted at the crossing. If a train is approaching, move away from the crossing so not to be hit by debris. Your vehicle can always be replaced. You can't. Okay, let me remind you what can happen if you don't exercise a little caution at a crossing and obey the signs and signals. Remember, Remember, every time you approach a railroad crossing, slow down and be prepared to stop. Here, there are no do-overs. Look, listen, and live.